name is Rap. This is my new video about Warframe. Well, today I'm playing with Vauban. This is a different Vauban than the other one. Well, I had two Vaubans, like the Frost in when Warframes had abilities. This Vauban had three abilities. Sorry. This Vauban have all four abilities, the other Vauban only had two abilities. I formed the other two abilities, only had Bastig and Vortex, and this Vauban had all four abilities. So right now I didn't sell this Vauban. I prefer to keep him since I already had wasted the Castellistian formulas in him, so I opted to make a different build. The other one was in around strength and duration, but with lack of efficiency. This one is more balanced because I only use transcendent fortitude with intensify for strength, continuity for duration, flow, streamline, and stretch for range. Give me positive in all of them. I have almost 30% duration, 30% efficiency, 45% range, and 185% strength. I don't use a exilic slot here. I don't have enough points, and I had to use another formula, but that is out of the question because, well, I'm not going to waste 20 plat in all exilic slots. To be honest, I'm keeping them for the prime versions and a few normal versions that maybe will get a prime later, but right now I like to play with them and I don't mind to form them. But since my other Vauban already have a exilic slot, I'm not going to put the exiles in this one, so I'm going to leave it. And there is another thing, since this one have more efficiency, I'm able to spam my ability. So of course, if I had sure-footed or end spring here would be helpful, but I have to rely on my abilities for that. Okay, I was playing with the Tigris, but I'm not going to take the Tigris. I already play with the Tigris, so I'm going to take the Braton Prime. I'm just going to see. I'm going to no, it's this. I'm using Fanged Fusillade here to boost the slash, and then all Elementar. I removed I'm going to make a change here. I don't have other mods, so I'm going to make a little change here. I'm going to remove Stormbringer, and I'm going to use Shred to give a little more. Okay. I sometimes make this change. I usually have other build here where I use Shred and another one where I don't use Shred. I'm going to take the Brakk. My Brakk is a 4-former build. I didn't say about the Braton. The Braton is a 6-former build because it didn't bring any polarized slot. I think it's one of the problems of the first weapons, and also the weapons that you develop in a dojo, most don't bring polarized slots. So if you want to use maxed mods, you have to use at least 5 formers. This one have 6 formers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, this was formed for the previous damage, so I had all elementars in here, so I had to form these two, just like a few weapons that have 6 forms. Most of them only have 5. This is one of the few that have 6 forms. My Brakk have 4 forms. Sometimes now I'm using all elemental cards, but sometimes I boost the physical damage. It depends the faction that I'm facing. Impact, I boost impact with pummel if I'm playing corpse. Puncture with bore if I'm playing Grenier, or maim to boost slash if I'm playing with infested. Right now I'm going to leave it this way. Well, I'm going to start to play with Kubrows in my next video, so this time is the Raska. Well, I'm leveling my, I'm forming, not leveling, is already leveled, but I'm forming my Kubrow. This is something that I just want to take a minute to talk about. I think it's a big issue with the Kubrows. The Kubrows bring a polarized slot, which I think it's very short, because most of the Kubrow mods are 14 points mods. You have Bite 14 points, Maul 14 points, Link Shields 14 points, Link Health 14 points, Link Armor 14 points, Shelter 14 points. Then you have Animal Instinct 11, and then you have Pack Leader 9 points, Loyal Companion 7 points, Fast Deflection of 9 points, and Scavenger, that is some kind of ability, 5 points. So this is a 6 form build, and I will not have room to max all these mods. I can max Link Health, Link Armor and Bite, but I cannot max Shelter. Shelter will only, if I max Bite, Armor and Health, will leave me with only 1 point. That I can only leave Shelter 2 more points. I can go up 2 points, and then I have to use another form if I want to maintain this build, or I have to remove Loyal Companion and then max Shelter. It's too much. If we think that we have 5 different races, and if you are a player like me that like to use the Kubrows in tower formations, using 7 forms 5 times, it's a big issue. It's mostly because, well, people when use something want, at least I am this way, if I want to use something, I will want to have that something the best I can have. That's why all my weapons are formed, all my Kubrows are formed, all my Warframes are formed. It's not, it's a thing that I want to make my builds and have freedom to do so. Sure, it's very time consuming, it's true. I'm not saying it isn't, but Warframe is the game to burn out time, believe me, and these things at least keep you interested. So I always have something to do. If it's nothing to farm, I always have something to level. A big that's why I always keep things to do. Of course, people, I see very few people, and I'm playing mostly pugs now. I see very few people use Kubrows, and I think, or I bet, one of the main reasons are the mods the Kubrows use. Now, let's think that the Kubrows bring 3 polarized slots besides the abilities. You could use Mole, Link Shields and Link Health. Okay, if you want to make a stronger build, you use 2 formas and you can use Link Armor and Shelter. Fine, or Bite. Fine. Use a 2 forma build to make a good build is one thing. Use at least 4 formas, because believe me, if you want to use Bite, Maul, Link Shields, Health, Armor and Fast Deflection, nothing less than 4 formas will work, believe me. And you cannot use these 2 mods. So, unless they make a change in the Kubrow, since they cannot change the mods right now, I think this was badly planned. If they planned to release the Kubrows already knowing the mods they have, they should at least put 2 more polarized slots in the Kubrows. Right now the only thing to do was, at least in my opinion, was add 2 or 3 polarized slots to the Kubrow, to each Kubrow. Doesn't matter which one, if it is defensive, tactical, or a V point, a V polarized slot, but they should have at least 2 more to make the Kubrows have at least 3 default polarized slots besides the abilities. That would make, I bet that would make people use Kubrows a lot more, because we look at the Kubrow mods, they are very time consuming. I remember, if you want to max your weapons, you have to max Serration and Heavy Caliber, and then all the other mods are easily maxed. If you want to max your Warframes, you max Narrow-Minded or Blind Rage, but all the other mods besides the survivability are easily modded, leveled. You look at the Kubrow, almost all mods are 14 points mods, so you lose all the motivation when you look at the mods. And believe me, I have lots of cars only to show, but I'm not going to waste all my cars in the Kubrow. I can show here, just I have lots of cars, but I'm not going to waste all my cars in the Kubrow. That's why I'm leveling the Kubrow shortly. One of the things that I do, and believe me, it's very helpful, I maxed Mole and Link Shields this way. Of course, the last point it was cores, because it takes too much, but until the link health reach this one, I'm going to use the crap mods. These mods that we pick in all the missions, I'm going to fuse them here. When I reach the last one, I'm going to use cores for the last one. I did this with Mole, with Link Shields, and I'm doing this now with Link Health, and I'm going to do only Bite is the only one that I'm going to treat like Heavy Caliber. When I reach to the 2 last ones, I'm going to use cores, because it takes a lot of crap mods for you to level to the last one, so it's more easy to use cores when you reach that point. But believe me, if you play a lot survival, excavation, it's very easy to use those mods to level this kind of mod, because it isn't a rare, is uncommon. And then in the last one you use cores, and believe me, you will need a few less cores than if I wanted to max it right now. Okay, not going to lose more time with this. Well, I was planning to do a tower 4, but I'm going to play a tower 3 because, well, I already got annoyed in my previous mission. And I'm going to play a tower 3. It's the I think the game now is doing on purpose. I'm getting very annoyed by the bombards because well, they are very cheap. I cannot find another word. They are very cheap. It's like I was talking today. They aren't the issue if you play in a party, but then you start playing alone with it's not with all frames. There are a few frames that you can avoid that very easily, but if you play with a frame, for instance, like Vauban, it's very easy to die with the bombards because, well, first they always fire 2 rockets. It's one tank that I think should be changed, at least in Tower 4, because we have to keep in mind that enemies do the double of the damage, and if the heavy is able to fire 2 rockets in a row, if you get caught by the first rocket, you will die because the second will kill you. And that is what I find cheap because, for instance, I only have 2 lives left in this Vauban, and my two deaths were in 2 different missions exactly the same way. A rocket from the other side of the map that the first knocked me down and the second one killed me, because one come after the other and it doesn't give you a chance. I find hilarious when someone creates a thread about the heavies and come those smart ass saying you just need to dodge, you just need to dodge. Sure, you're going to dodge of something you aren't seeing, because I was in a very wide open area and the heavy was in the other side of the map. It's very shit. I was talking with my friend, and I know the word is very strong, but I cannot find another one. It's very cheap. It is a cheap way to burn revives. I would prefer that they actually had a difficult enemy than a cheap enemy, because Tower 4 was very fun to play without them, and now it's very cheap. You play in a party, it's fun, but if you play alone with a few friends, you will get very frustrated. Because it's one of those things that it doesn't matter how well you play with the frame, you stop a little and say, what the hell happened? Then in my second game, I think the bombards made a pact with the nullifiers, because the bombard always come inside the bubble of the nullifier, and I was getting annoyed by being rocketed and I couldn't see where the heavy was. Then I killed the nullifier and I see the heavy. Was hilarious. Well, I was going to upload that video, but I had to end the mission a little sooner than I was planning, so I'm going to do a later video of it, but I actually don't have fun playing, especially if I'm with Vauban. It's very annoying. Even even that you drop your basket right away. If the heavy come with a nullifier, you are already screwed. Unless you see him, unless you can see him, or the first rocket doesn't catch you, because most of the times when they are in the other side of the map, I know that they are there because I get rocketed, and then I know there is a heavy a bit far. I'm not seeing it, but I'm waiting for him. It's different, but when the first rocket catch you, the second kill you, and that is very, very unfair. I'm going to refill my energy. I forgot that. One thing that I prefer to play with the primes is that you refill your energy when you pass with that bubble, so... And I always forget when I'm playing with a frame that isn't a prime. I always forget to refill my energy because, well, we pass there, but he doesn't refill.
Here is a terminal. Get me in and get ready to defend.
I think the heavies should be changed. At least they shouldn't fire two missiles in a row. And believe me, that would make things more interesting, even if you were in a party or solo. Because what makes them very unfair is the fact that they can fire, sometimes they fire three rockets in a row. That is hilarious. Another thing, and I was remembering now, another thing is the game sometimes, and this happens a lot, the game sometimes just throw heavy after heavy against you. In the previous game I was in a corridor that had three heavies. I was with Vauban, so they were affected by the Basti. They were one side with the other, three heavy side by side. And then there was another heavy behind them. It's too much. I think the game should limit their spawn in the game because it's too much. I remember a game that I did a few days ago. I already talked about it in the previous video that I was in a corridor with three heavies. I died because I didn't have where to run. They all fired at the same time. I was in a short corridor and I didn't have where to run because whenever I move, the rocket range, the damage range is so big that it still damaged me no matter where I move it. So uses to say that I died again. So my experience with heavy started to become a little annoying. That's why I can live with them, but I surely would love that something was done about it because It's very annoying for people that like to play alone. It's very annoying, and sometimes it's unfair. It got nothing to do with sure that if you are with A frame, B frame, you don't have issues, but if you are a more wide open player that like me, I like to play which day I choose a frame and play with different frames. They are an issue when I'm with a few frames. Because, well, you don't have much chance. If you are catched by the first rocket, the second kill you, and it's a cheap way to die, because you have other tough enemies and you can still deal with them, and then you die by a rocket, by something that you can't see, that can't be fired by the other side of the room, and it's a bit unfair and frustrated. I think the best feeling I can describe is frustration. And like I said, I think the only place or tank mission that I still like them, it's mobile defense, but then again, it's mostly, well, there is a lots of heavies in this room. I counted 4. It's unbelievable. It's this the game does. It doesn't limit the heavy spawn, so sometimes you are in a room with 4 heavies, and believe me, 4 heavies firing rockets at you, it's tough. No matter how you move, how your reaction is, if they can fire before you can do something, it's a bit tough. Not right here, because this is a tower 3, it's more bearable, but if this was a tower 4, it was an issue because of the damage, of course. They do exactly the double of the damage, and for a frame like Vauban that cannot sustain much damage, it's a bit unfair. But, well, this is just my opinion, of course. It's like I said, I have a few friends that love the heavy, so each person at their own taste, which I respect. But when I say it's unfair, at least I give a valid argument. I'm not saying it is unfair because it is unfair. And I also providing some change that could benefit, and I'm sure would benefit, not so much people that play in a party, but people that play it alone. It would benefit if they couldn't fire 2 rockets or 3 rockets in a row. If they should fire a rocket and then after a while fire another rocket, not fire 2 and 3 rockets like the previous game. The guy fired 3 rockets in a row. It's unbelievable. And you have to dodge all, because you can dodge the first and be catched by the second. You are forced to dodge all, and if you see them you can act, but if you don't see him, it's a little difficult to act when you aren't seeing the thing. Okay, it's all for this video. Thanks for watching. Until the next video, see you around.